First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, and give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, that pushing the truth and sincerity on the four winds of the earth, and all you other Akim that teaching the same truth and sincerity. I would like to shout a warm. But we're gonna get into this quick lesson today on Revelation, the 9th chapter, and mainly some of the newcomers that being confused on what this chapter is really talking about or is really saying. But through the Spirit, I want to try to break it down, and hopefully it'll be an edifying video. So I'm gonna go ahead and get straight into it. Revelation, the 9th chapter. And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him given the key to the bottomless pit. And the bottomless pit is Europe, okay? And the key to the bottomless pit. And so to get more edification, if you go to Revelation chapter 20, and you read the first 3 verses, and it's going to explain about, it talks about the dragon, the old serpent, and the old serpent is Esau, Edom, which is the so-called white man. He descend, he come from Europe. So this is the angel that have the key to the bottomless pit. Okay, so that's what it's saying. And he opened the bottomless pit and rose out smoke. Okay, so let me start over. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. So keep in mind, the bottomless pit is Europe. And what John the Apostle is seeing, there's a battle going on. You know, from the firefighting and all, and the cannons, it causing smoke to be in the atmosphere. So in the bottomless pit, okay? So that's what the Apostle John is seeing. He's seeing a war taking place. World War I. This is the first war. And there came out of the smoke upon the earth. Them was given, okay, let me start with Slaki. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth. And unto them was given power, as a scorpion of the earth have power. So what the Apostle John is seeing coming out of the smoke, out of the battle that's going on, during World War I, they had the pilots that fought in these planes were called dog fighters. And what he's seeing these pilots that fly in these planes. So he's referring to them as a locust. So that's what he's talking about. So it say, unto them was given power, as the scorpion on the earth have power. So the same as scorpions on the earth have power. So what do? With their tails, a scorpion will strike you with their tail and you will die from it. So the Apostle John is describing the best of his ability back in that time period, starting around the 1400s, I want to say, all the way up until the 1900s. So he's describing it the best he can. He's describing the dog fighters, though they call them back in the time period, dog fighters, which would be fighting, say with planes. So he referring them as locusts. You know, so if a locust strike you with his tail, you'll be put to death, that you will die. So that's what he described, okay? And, okay, verse 4. And he will command them that they should not hurt the grass or the earth, neither any green thing. Okay, now what's happening is these locusts, which are the dog fighters, these Germans that's flying these planes, right? And the pilots, what they're doing, they're going around shooting and killing people. All right. So it's not talking about shooting grass or trees. The grass and trees represent the people. Okay. So that's what it's saying. When it say neither any green thing, neither any tree. Okay. But only those men which have not the seal of the Most High in their foreheads. So the grass and the trees and the grass and the trees represent Hebrew Israelites during that time period. So the Most High put a mark upon the Hebrew Israelite men that they wouldn't be harmed during World War I. Okay. So that's what it's saying, which have not the seal, but only those men which have not the seal of the God in their foreheads. So the only people are going to get killed would be the heathens that does not have the mark of the seal of the Most High in their foreheads. Okay. So verse 5. And to them it was given, they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months, and their torment will as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh the man. Okay, I'm going to read it again. Verse 5. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but they should be tormented 5 months. So that 5 months is 5 years, because the first World War, it lasted 5 years from 1914 to 1919. So that's 5 years. So that 5 months represent 5 years. And they say, and their torment was as a scorpion when he striketh the man. So that's lucky. Okay, now what John is saying is these dog fighters. And what they have power to kill, just like the scorpion, out of his tail, or to torment men for 5 months, which is 5 years. And so what he's seeing is he's seeing these pilots, the pilot that's flying or that's in the cockpit controlling the plane, and you also have a gunner back in the back of the plane. So he's shooting from the rear of the plane. So John, he's describing, well, he's comparing the dog fighters to a locust, will sting you from their tails, meaning they were shooting plane where they was shooting from the rear of the plane. Okay. So when he striketh the man, okay, now that's what that means. And in those days shall men seek death, and they shall not find it, and they shall desire to die, but death fleeth from them. Okay, so now this is going into World War II, which is the second war. Verse 6, and they say, in those days men seek death, and they should not find it, and shall desire to die, but they shall flee from them. And back in those days, and that during that time period, they didn't have the technology, like penicillin or different type of pain medicines or pain medications. So when the soldiers or any civilian got wounded during that battle, where they may lose arms, legs, or their limbs, and they would, like give them strong drink or put something in their mouth to bite down on it, and they would have to cut off whether it would be their arm or their leg, and so they would be in so much torment and pain that they would wish for death, but death would flee from them because, they were going through so much torment and pain that they would wish for death. Okay, so that's what that means. Verse 7, and the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle. Okay, so, I'll read it again. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle. So you have two different type of horses. You have horses that you have on a farm that you can ride, but these type of horses was war horses, or horses prepared to go to war. They would put different type leather on them, on the horses, to protect them as the soldier would be riding the horse, right? And they would pad them down with this leather. So as they was in conflict or in battle, what the opponent would, or what the opposing soldier would do is in order to get to the soldier that's up on the horse, they would shoot the horse. But they would layer the horse with different type of leather for protection. So that's what John the Revelator is seeing. He's saying that in the shape of the locust were like unto horses prepared unto battle. Okay, so these planes have like let's say metals or iron is for protection. Same, okay. And on their heads were as it were crowns like gold. Okay, and what he's seeing, these locusts, they have heads which would be crowns of gold, or it would be a crown of silver. Okay, so what John is seeing, if you do the research on World War I, the Germans and the high-ranking officers, they would have gold helmets or silver helmets, okay? And John compared it to a crown of gold. And their face were like men. And the locusts' face were like men because John was describing it the best he could. So he see the locusts with face like men. He actually was looking at the German soldiers with gold crowns and silver crowns up on their head with face like men. So actually he looking right at a man. So he describing it as best he can during that time period. And they had hair, and they had hair as the hair of woman. Okay, so what the locusts, which were men, German soldiers, okay, the dog fighters, they would have hair like woman. So on the top of their crown, which would be on the top of their helmet, what John referred to as being a crown, and it said that they had hair like woman. But what he's saying was it was like a tassel that the Germans of high-ranking officers, they would put this tassel on the top of their helmet, and it would hang down. And John is referring to it as a woman that having hair. Okay, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions. And so what John is he describing now, teeth of lions. He like a lion pounce on his prey. He will devour his prey with his teeth. But what John is referring, and there were teeth as the lions, okay? And their teeth were as lion teeth. And so now he's seeing the bullets that's being shot from that the dog fighter is fighting against another soldier fighting in the air. So he referring, he is describing the bullets as teeth, okay? And they had breastplates as it were breastplates of iron. And so he referring the locust armor as breastplate of iron because the plane that the dog fighters or piloting is made of iron or hard metal. Okay, so that's what it means. And the sound of their wing was the sound of chariots and many horses running. Okay, so during that time period, I want to say this is going to World War II, the Second War, which is I think it took place around 1939 to 1945. I want to say 6 years and 1 day, if I got this right. Okay. So the breastplate was of iron, and the sound of their wing was the sound of chariots, many horses running in battle. Okay. So this plane, these dog fighters were flying, they made a lot of noise. They were real noisy because they didn't have a muffler system on it. Like today's modern day planes today, they have muffler systems on them, like just like a muffler system of a car that make the car or the vehicle, sound real smooth. But these planes during that time period, they sound real loud, and it was like horses running into battle because they made up so much noise. Okay, so I want to go to verse 10. And they had tails like unto scorpions. Okay, they had tails like unto scorpions. What does a scorpion tail is designed for? It's to kill. So, okay, and they had tails like scorpions. So these planes that John, the apostle, saw, he's referring or he is comparing it to a scorpion, but they have tail of a scorpion and stings of their tails and the power to hurt men 5 months. Okay, so I can read it over. And they had tails like unto scorpions. Okay, so these dog fighters had tails like scorpions because they had the pilot piloting in the cockpit, and he had a gunner in the rear of the cockpit. In the rear of the tail, so he's shooting out of the tail behind it, behind the plane. That's the reason John is describing it as a scorpion. Okay, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was given to hurt men. Okay, and so they for 5 months. So they were 5 years. Okay, and they had a king over them. Okay, verse 11. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit. Okay? And the angel, if you go back and do your research, I want to say his name is, Kaiser Willingham II. And Kaiser, it just means Caesar or emperor in German. So Kaiser Wilhelm, during that time period of World War I, he was the king, and so he is the angel that had the key to the bottomless pit. And the angel can also be a man, or can be also referred to as a man. If you go, I want to say Revelation, the 12th chapter, I want to say how Michael and his angels fought the dragon and his angels, which is the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. So Michael and his angels fought against the dragon and his angels. So the dragons, which is Esau, Edom, and his angels will be the soldiers. So Kaiser Wilhelm would be the king during that time period, way over the Germans, right? Whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, which meaning a destroyer. But in the Greek tongue, his name is Apollyon, meaning a destroyer. Okay? One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. Verse 13. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four winds of the golden altar, which is the Most High throne, Yahweh, is before the Most High. Verse 14, saying, to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose four angels which were bound in the great river of Euphrates. In Revelation, I want to say the 16th chapter, it also speaks about the four angels that were bound in the river of Euphrates. Okay, the archangels. All right, and which would be in the Middle East. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay a third part of men. And that third part of men is Esau, Edom, is the so-called white race. Okay? They will be the third part of men because, see, a man is categorized, which would be the sons of the Most High, the sons of God, Yahweh. You have sons of men, which are the heathens of the heathen nations. And you have the sons of the wicked, which would be the so-called white man, which Esau, Edom, okay? So the third part, so it's a month and a day, and a month and a year for a day to slay a third part of men. So the third part of men is referring to the son of the wicked, which is Esau, Edom, okay? But they all of them will not be slaughtered or taken away because we're going to, the Most High, Yahweh, is preserving a remnant of them, the so-called white man, for slavery, okay? And the number of the army of the horsemen were 1,000,000, and I heard the number of them. So what John, the Apostle John is seeing, where he say, verse 18, and the number of the armies of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. So what he not actually seeing an army, what he actually seeing is these ICBM intercontinental ballistic missiles, which would be 200 million. That's what he's seeing. He see these intercontinental ballistic missiles, you know. So that's what he's seeing, okay? Not an actual army, okay? And thus I saw horses in the vision, and them sat upon them, having breastplates of fire. These are the missiles, the ICBM intercontinental ballistic missiles, okay? And in the tip of the missile, they have multiple nuclear warheads in them, okay? So not the actual missile that's going to do the damage. The actual is just the tip. What's in the cone of the missile contain multiple warheads, okay? And I saw the horses in the vision, and sat upon them, having breastplates of fire, and jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were the heads of lions. Out of the mouth issue fire, smoke, and brimstone. You see, it's talking about the tip of the missile, which would be the cone of the missile that contain multiple warheads, okay? Out of the mouth issues smoke and brimstone, all right? So it's talking about the tip of the missile, where you have fire, smoke, and brimstone. That's heading to Babylon the Great, which is the third woe. This is representing the third woe, you know. And by these, there were third part of men killed. Okay, the third part of men killed. And by the third part of men would be Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. So a third part would be killed. So, like, you know, killed by fire and brimstone and smoke, and by the brimstone which issue out of their mouths. Okay, so the brimstone and fire being issued out of their mouth, which is the ICBM intercontinental ballistic missiles. And for their power was in their mouth. Okay, the power was in their mouth, which would be the tip of the missile, the cone of the missile. Okay, and their tails were like unto serpents. Okay, so as the missile is shot into the atmosphere, you'll see like a squiggly smoke that's coming from the tail of it. And so it being described unto the tail of a serpent. Okay? And had heads, and with them they do hurt. Yeah, and that's the tip of the warship head. And they do hurt. They hurt by death, by pain and death. All right? So they do hurt. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues yet repented not of the works of their hands. So it's going to be a remnant that the Most High is going to save just for slavery. Okay, so they say they won't repent. Okay, and the rest of men which were not killed by these plagues yet repented not of their works, their hands. So all of the wickedness that Esau Edom done, they still won't repent. Okay, and they gave that they should not worship devils, idols, gold and silver, and brass, stone, and wood, which neither can see, nor hear, nor walk. Okay? So what they're really saying is Esau, Edom, after the destruction, get kicked off, and after they've been fled into different countries, trying to escape the destruction that's coming to Babylon the Great, which is United States of America, Virgin Islands of Babylon. They're going to flee into different countries. So, and they're going to, after they see all this, the destruction, they're going to go run to their idols. It's really, okay, I'm going to read it again. Okay, and the rest of men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils. So they're going to try to flee and pray to their idols, run to their Catholic churches, whatever a religion they are serving, whether it's Buddha, Islam, or whatever it may be. They're going to go and try and pray and thinking that their God can deliver them from the judgment that's about to come up on them. So really, it's just talking about their religion. Okay? So I'm going to read it again. Devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and wood, which neither can see, nor hear, nor walk. In verse 21, neither repented they of their murders. Okay? You know how they starving the children of Israel? They start with us, starving the children of Israel, and going into other foreign nations, slaughtering, Asalakia, rob, raping, murdering, stealing, and killing and pillaging and taking natural resources and riches. Okay, so repented not, neither the sorcery, okay, which they get from their left hand side, spiritual demon Satan, their witchcraft, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. So to sum it up in a nutshell, hopefully this video is edifying and it made some type of sense of this breakdown. So I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. Until the next time, Shalom.